On trips to Israel, Egypt, and Qatar this week, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was aiming to bridge remaining gaps between Israel and Hamas in the hostage and ceasefire deal. Despite optimism from the U.S., both Israel and Hamas have signaled that any deal will be difficult, as shown in previous failed negotiations and months of back and forth. Speaking in Doha on the last leg of his trip, Blinken noted that Israel had accepted the bridging proposal and was hoping that Hamas would do the same.
Over the coming days, we are going to do everything possible to, one, get Hamas on board with the bridging proposal, and then to make sure that both parties work on and agree to necessary details of implementation that would allow everything to go forward.
Then, echoing previous statements that the U.S. would not accept a long-term occupation of Gaza by Israel.
Time is of the essence because with every passing day, the well-being and lives of the hostages are in jeopardy. Women, children, men in Gaza are suffering and at risk of being wounded or dying in fighting that they didn't start and they cannot stop.
Earlier this week, as Blinken met with officials in Egypt, 6 bodies were retrieved from the Gaza Strip.
Through a brave and complex operation, the Israel Security Agency and the military recovered the remains of hostages.
The body of Yoram Metzger was among them. On October 7th, Yoram and his wife Tami were among 250 Israelis kidnapped by the Hamas terrorist group. Tami was released early on in the war in a hostage deal, but Yoram remained in captivity in Gaza.
My father was murdered, a bullet to the head, somewhere around the end of February. My mother was released in 28th of November, about 3 months between.
Yoram's son is among those who aren't confident that a deal can be reached, explaining that Israeli authorities had been delaying a ceasefire.
I expect Bibi Netanyahu to do the deal or keep on the deal running until he gets everybody out. By him delaying, getting to this point, when we're playing some kind of who says what and games that what does what, help who.
After this week's operation, 109 Israeli hostages remain captive in Gaza, both alive and dead. Negotiations continue with fierce urgency with the support of the U.S., Egypt, and Qatar.
And we will do everything possible to get it across the finish line.